Welcome to my studio. I have my teleprompter here, so we're ready to go. We have a time in which our news is being called fake news. It's whatever you don't like. You just put fake news. They just say fake news. Fake news. Because the facts that news organization is reporting conflict with my conclusions, and therefore I refuse to accept that data. There couldn't be anything to global warming because Paul Ryan doesn't want to do anything about it. Therefore, global warming is a complete fake job. It's not something about which there's some reasonable doubt. No. Used to be on the left side of the aisle, you had the liberals who were, and this is where left and right comes from, by the way, like Parliament. You had the liberals on the left side of the aisle and the conservatives on the right side of the aisle. And the liberal was a guy that was always saying, well, you know, this isn't that great, and we should change it a little bit, and we could make this better, and we could fix that up some, and you know, try to make things a little better for people. And the conservative says, now, George, you know, and I'm going to repeat this to you at tea time, and by the way, today's your day to pay, that we can't afford to do this, and that things are really pretty good the way they are right now. And if we mess around with stuff, you'll never know what'll go wrong. And sometimes the liberals said, well, okay. And sometimes they argued with the conservatives for a while, and the conservatives said, well, okay. And the conservative, because he's a person who resists change on the basis that change is usually for the worse, once the change has happened, if it was for the worst, he wants to put it back. But it was for the better, then he says, well, you were right this time. And that's conservatism. You were right this time. We've got it organized nicely. We'll leave it like you have it. Not, I have to tear down your sandcastle because you built it. We don't care where it came from. The point is, it's working good. Let's leave it alone. Okay, now we've got it fixed. Stop messing with it. Don't work on it anymore. And the liberals are like, well, if I just adjust this one little thing, and the conservatives, no. I just know you're going to break that. And sometimes the conservatives are right. Today, we've got basically a greedhound cheapskate who calls himself a conservative and is no such thing. The worst of them are sociopaths who believe essentially that whatever's good for them is what's good for them, and the heck with everybody else. A real conservative would be appalled by the ethics of these people that are calling themselves conservatives today. They think that once they get a dollar in their hand, they should get to keep it all. Mine, 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 mine! Without regard for the fact that other people contributed to the society they live in and the job they're doing. And, you know, you fixed up your house and you sold it at a profit. That's nice, but you still owe the electrician. And these people that are calling themselves conservatives now are saying, nah, we don't want to pay the electrician. You know, we don't like your socialized interstate highways and you know, your bridges and all that kind of stuff like that. No, we don't want to pay for those. I don't want to pay to have the potholes fixed in front of my business. I don't want to pay the police to keep my stuff from being stolen. I don't want to pay for any of that. I just want it to magically happen or something. And why aren't all these other people paying? Well, because they already paid all they could and they're broke. This kind of conservative gets subsidized health insurance, the $700 billion bailout for the Wall Street banks for their own stupidity and greed. He gets tax cuts. He gets things like the oil depletion allowance and all that. And he still wants a free ride. He doesn't want to pay anything for government services, just as if those things didn't cost anything. At the far end of the path is a libertarian, which is nothing like a real libertarian. Okay, a real libertarian would say, hey, look, you see all this stuff back here? You see how this backyard is messy? I wouldn't have it that way if it was my backyard. But if that's the way he wants to have it, that's his business, it's his place, right? It's not mine. So, no big. But that's not the way they are. The people that call themselves libertarians today, in fact, are the same ones that want to get covenants and restrictions on their neighborhood and have a little homeowners association and tell you that you can't paint your house that color, and if you park your old car there, and as soon as the registration expires, they're going to come onto your property and tow your car away, and you have to mow your grass, and it just goes on and on. And they still call themselves libertarians. A real libertarian would say, on the other side of that fence is somebody else's liberty to do whatever he wants. I don't care if he grows pot plants over there. I don't care what he does. Doesn't matter to me. I'm a libertarian. I believe in liberty. When I first came across the libertarian idea, they talked about a 3-cent loaf of bread, and they argued that all the rest of the cost of the bread was in taxes, and so we were taxed too much. Well, so somebody gets a farm subsidy and gets an interest-free loan to buy a combine that costs $1 million, and he grows a bunch of wheat, and then he ships it on the publicly owned interstates and gets it ground into corn, and somebody else has to make the paper bags for the corn to go in, and somebody has to fill the bags, and somebody has to stack them on the pallets, and then they go back on the publicly funded interstates, and they get hauled to the bakery, and the city's got to fix the potholes in the bakery, and when the baker comes first thing in the morning at 4 o'clock, don't be a baker if you don't want to get up early. He comes in and he knows that his bakery will still be there because the cops are there. The cops were up all night making sure that no one broke in and stole his stuff. And they get paid. All those people get paid. The guys that fix the potholes in the road, and the cops, and the people that fix the high tension lines that bring the power into the bakery, and the guys that have to fix the sewer, and the ones that work at the sewage treatment plant where all that water goes later, and the ones that work at the water purification plant. All those taxes are for services that you get that are part of your product. Yeah, the person that actually cooked the loaf of bread maybe could get by on 3 cents, but he only did like a 25th of the work or something. All the other stuff is all these hidden things. They're not really hidden, but you don't notice them. They're not up front showing right there in the bakery. Some guy that's out there at 3 o'clock in the morning, in a 90-knot wind, in a hailstorm, fixing an electric line so that your bakery will be able to go and start cooking bread, before dawn. They say they want to get government out of your business, but that's a system for like mass polluters and warlords, and it's basically anarchy. The government has to be in your business. The government has to regulate the economy, or you'll have things like the Depression. We have a whole structure of laws. I never hear these people, when they put their money in the bank, complaining that we have socialized Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, but it's socialized, baby, because you don't pay for it. You don't pay, oh, let's see, how much have you got in the bank? Okay, then your premium will be this much to have it insured. No, the federal government insures it for free. Well, they have to take that money from somewhere, so when you pay your taxes, just remember that, that they're giving you a safe place to keep the money they didn't charge you in taxes. And last along this list is the most perverted, screwed up psychopath of all, the social Darwinist. This is a person who says that people that don't make money don't even deserve to live. They just weren't the fittest, and so they shouldn't survive, and any kind of social program that keeps them alive is just a complete waste of money, and ultimately it would be better to let them die and have them be replaced by people that are fit to survive. Problem with that is the only way in which these people are not fit to survive is in a system that was set up by you to give your social class an advantage, to allow you to inherit a big pile of money so that you could be the big shot on the hill, and so on and so on and so on. And this other person isn't able to succeed in a system that was designed to make it impossible for him to succeed, to make it impossible for 99.99% of the people to succeed, so that 1 out of 10,000 could have way too much. Well, that's not a rule of nature. That is not the market enforcing some kind of objective reality. The market is jungle law. Want the government out of your business? Okay, we'll have no laws at all. We'll have no government. Then, Mr. So-called libertarian, what are you going to do when somebody decides to go into the mugging business? They're just going to say, hey, look, you see a guy with a nice looking suit, you walk up to him, you take this and you go, BONG! Right on the head. And don't worry about killing him, because it's easier to take the money off a dead body than it is to have somebody wiggling around still bleeding on you. So just kill them, take their stuff, and leave them on the sidewalk. It's a profitable business. Hey, survival of the fittest. We never again will have, like a cosmologist like Stephen Hawking, of course, because, he'd be cut up for dog food. But, you didn't want civilization, I guess. All of that is totally abhorrent to a true conservative who is just on the other side of the center line, being the aisle, from the liberal, who's basically his friend. They're the two people that have sensible opinions. Mild conservatives, mild liberals, meet pretty much in the middle, the only political viewpoint that makes any sense. So, when you call me a liberal, you don't need to say I'm a libtard or something like that. When I can call you a conservative, I won't think up a nasty name for you, because I don't do that crap. Be a conservative, that's great. Be a true conservative. One who conserves. One who believes in saving things. Oh, do you have kids? Do you expect to have grandkids? Then don't pollute the earth so they can't live in it. That's conservative.